Welcome to the perplexing world of unsolved mysteries. In this video, we explore the depths of some of the most perplexing and intriguing cases that have stumped investigators for years, from mysterious disappearances and unexplained deaths to strange occurrences and eerie phenomena. We will attempt to shed light on these baffling enigmas. Despite the best efforts of detectives, these mysteries remain unsolved, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and haunting uncertainty. Join us as we delve into the unknown and attempt to unravel the secrets that have eluded even the most experienced investigators. So buckle up and get ready for a journey into the fascinating world of unsolved mysteries.
John Lennon, tragic assassination. John Lennon's life cut short by disturbed gunmen. Kennedy, an American, and Lord Mountbatten, from a different era, both hold their unique places in history. However, for countless British kids spanning 2 generations, there is one violent death that remains etched in their memories like no other: the murder of John Lennon. On that Tuesday morning, as Britain awakened, radio bulletins broke the devastating news that the world's most famous man, the very one who had once controversially claimed, "We're more popular than Jesus now," had been shot. The shock and numbness gripped the nation, and for some, it has never truly faded away. John Lennon was more than just a musician, singer, and songwriter. He was the heart and soul of the greatest rock and pop group of all time. He embodied curiosity, arrogance, vulnerability, humour, intuition, energy, naivety, and radicalism. Lennon served as the outspoken spokesperson for both his band and an entire generation. He was instrumental in driving significant social change. Alongside his fellow Beatles, he put Liverpool on the map, ignited the exuberant swinging London movement, and shattered barriers in music, art, writing, photography, and fashion. Lennon challenged prejudices, shifted attitudes, and ruffled feathers among adults and politicians alike. The tragic event took place outside Lennon's New York home in the Dakota Building on the evening of December 8, 1980, which translates to December 9th in the UK. A few hours before the shooting, Lennon had briefly met Mac Chapman, who was among a cluster of fans waiting on the sidewalk. Lennon kindly autographed an album sleeve for Chapman. Unbeknownst to Lennon, Chapman lurked in the shadows, patiently waiting for him to walk past. In a chilling display of premeditation, Chapman calmly pulled out a 5-shot Charter Arms undercover .38 special revolver and fired 4 hollow-nosed dum-dum bullets into Lennon's back. Despite the shock of his actions, Chapman made no attempt to flee the scene. He wandered around, removed his coat and hat, and sat on the sidewalk, patiently awaiting the arrival of the police. Clutching a copy of J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye, he showed no remorse. When the doorman of the Dakota shouted at him, asking if he realized the magnitude of what he had done, Chapman simply replied, "Yes, I just shot John Lennon." The world, in addition to mourning Lennon's loss, soon became aware of peculiar elements surrounding the murder. Chapman's motivations did not stem from hatred, envy, or even the typical desire for fleeting fame. If anything, he seemed to shy away. Chapman, driven by madness and instability, embarked on a chilling mission, a mission that would mark his second attempt at murder. His descent into darkness involved a turbulent decade of drug use, from LSD to heroin, and a fervent embrace of born-again Christianity. He had attempted suicide twice, yet fate intervened both times. "I was such a failure, I even failed at killing myself," he bitterly admitted. Chapman had traveled from Hawaii to New York with the sole purpose of stalking and killing John Lennon. He had even made a previous trip, but on that occasion, he managed to suppress his inner demons, returning home with a snub-nosed revolver tucked away safely in his suitcase. "I've won a great victory," he gleefully informed his wife over the phone. However, his fleeting triumph quickly faded. Despite making an appointment to see a psychiatrist, he failed to show up. On December 6th, he boarded a plane back to New York, and on December 8th, he stood outside the Dakota Building. "Mr. Lennon," he uttered as the former Beatle walked by. 5 shots rang out, with the first missing its mark, but the rest finding their target. In the eerie aftermath, Chapman calmly waited for several minutes until the authorities arrived to apprehend him. Now, let's address the conspiracy theories surrounding John Lennon's death. According to one belief, right-wing extremists within the US government, who despised everything Lennon stood for, ordered his assassination. In this narrative, Mac Chapman, while working as a children's counselor in Lebanese refugee camps, encountered CIA agents who ultimately recruited him. Allegedly, he was subjected to drugging, brainwashing, and hypnotism as part of the notorious MKULTRA mind control program. Operated by the CIA, and the US Army Chemical and Biological Weapons Division. Under this hypothesis, Chapman became a robotic assassin, a Manchurian candidate devoid of fear, malice, or conscience, with no memory of his actions. He may have inadvertently provided a clue himself when he mentioned, "It was almost as if I was on some kind of special mission that I could not avoid." It's not surprising that right-wing Americans held animosity towards Lennon. His music and ideologies sparked a transformative shift in American youth culture during the 1960s, propelling young people from harmless pop enjoyment to the realms of hippie idealism, drug experimentation, anti-war activism, feminism, and radical politics. Both President Nixon and J. Edgar Hoover, the notorious head of the FBI, despised him, and Lennon's arduous struggle to obtain a green card to reside in the US became legendary. Lennon, aware of the threats looming over his life and freedom, once told comedian Paul Krasner, "Listen, if anything happens to Yoko and me, it wasn't an accident." While the Democrats were in power from 1976 to 1980, Lennon had maintained a relatively low profile, resulting in no significant additions to his bulging FBI file. However, with the release of his album Double Fantasy, he was thrust back into the limelight just as the Reagan administration took charge, bringing with it a more divisive and combative social and international agenda. While Lennon was never one to shy away from controversial issues, it's a considerable leap to assume the existence of a Republican-led assassination plot. Nonetheless, if his death was politically motivated, there is little doubt that the plotters found the perfect pawn in the malleable and suggestible psyche of Mark Chapman. Summary: Mark David Chapman, driven by madness and instability, embarked on a mission to kill John Lennon, making it his second attempt at murder. Chapman had a troubled past involving drug use, suicide attempts, and a religious conversion. He traveled from Hawaii to New York with the intent to stalk Lennon, and after a previous failed attempt, he returned determined. On December 8, 1980, Chapman shot Lennon outside the Dakota Building and calmly waited for the police to arrive. Despite conspiracy theories suggesting a political motive, Chapman's actions seem to stem from his own disturbed state of mind. His tragic act ended the life of an influential musician and sparked speculations about the circumstances surrounding the murder.
Dear viewers, I wanted to take a moment to express my sincere gratitude for taking the time to watch my videos on unsolved mysteries. Your support means the world to me and motivates me to continue creating content that you enjoy. I am thrilled to announce that I will be producing around 40 videos on this topic, delving into the mysteries of the world and exploring different theories and explanations. I am excited to share my findings and insights with you. If you enjoyed my content, please consider liking and sharing my videos with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on all my latest releases. By subscribing, you will also help me to reach more people who may be interested in the subject. Lastly, if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video, don't forget to press the notification bell.